Hey friends, welcome back to the next video. Now let's actually apply what we have learned in the last video and use one of the table functions we have not used so far, which is the values function. Remember, the values function returns a unique list without duplicates. And one way to apply it inside a measure would, for instance, be to figure out the sales for, let's say, the top 10 customers. Or instead of the sales, let's actually use the profit, so we have a different measure. But of course, you could use any kind of measure you want. So let me click on the plus symbol here. And by the way, I named this properly here, and then I can add a new report page and get started with my new measure. So let's say we first like to display actually from the orders table here, all the customers. And let me make this bigger to figure out, okay, it's customer company. Here we go, this one. And then for those customer companies, I'd like to see the profits. So let's go with total profit here. Okay, now we can see the profit for all the customers. Let's also increase the size of the values here a little bit so we can see that better on our screens. Let's go with 15 here. Should be fine. And then also sort this. Okay, let's sort it. And we can see that this one is the customer with the highest amount of profit in this case. So the total profit returns, of course, the profit for all the customers. But in our case, we only want to see the profit for the top 10 customers. How to do this? So what we could do, now let's actually right click on the measures table and create a new measure. So this measure here, we will calculate something. So let's call it maybe the top 10 clients or top 10 customers is equal to, and now I go to new line, shift enter, and say here I would like to calculate. So the total, in this case, total profit, here we go. And the context, so the filter context, will be using the filter function, filter. Now we need to give it a table. Filter is the first, remember filter is also a table expression, so it returns a table which has been filtered. The table we want to return is based on the customers. And here we can use the values function. The values function returns a unique list, in this case of customer companies, if we give it this column. Let's do that. Order, TBL, and then here would like to refer to customer company, this one. So we can close this. And this means now as within the filter, the table we want to filter is a unique list of customer company names. And now we need to tell it how exactly do we want to filter the list. So what kind of customers do we want to return? And this can be done based on the ranking. So we could now say we want to rank X in this case. What exactly do we want to rank? Well, we want to rank all the customers. So let's go with all, in this case, customer. And again, I'm referring to the, let's go with orders table. So order TBL, and there the customer company, this one. Okay, like that. And then we want to make sure that for this one, so actually close this, let's just see, reg X, all, yes. And the expression will be the total profit, here we go. And then for the order, we will say descending, because I want to have only the highest, in this case, customer companies with the highest amount of profit. And for the ties, we can skip this, but let's go with dense, because we viewed dense before as well. Let's close this. And now let's make sure that this is less or equal to 10, right? Which we set up as our threshold. And now I close this parenthesis here, and I also close the calculate function. And we are good to go. So let's actually execute this and check it first, whether this works. So then let me tick this here, and let's actually add this here as well. So go to the top 10 clients, select this measure here, and now you see we got actually values which are exactly the same as here. Maybe not formatted correctly, so let's go in here and say, show it as dollar amount. And also please only use 2 decimal numbers. That's fine. Okay. So now we can see we got exactly the same values, but only for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clients, right? Because we set our threshold to 10 and we only see the values for the top 10 clients. And all the other clients here are blank. And if you take a closer look at our top 10 clients measure, let's maybe actually first copy it and format it, and then we have a closer look. So go to the here, this one here. Let me click on new. Let me paste this. Let me format it. And then let me copy it from here. Copy, go back to my report, and I paste this inside. And that's what it looks like. So basically, we apply all the, almost all the table functions which we have learned in the prior video. So we use the filter function to filter a table. The table is a unique list of customer company names, which is the values function doing. You know that. Remember our example with the categories from the last video? And then we do a ranking here based on all the customer companies. So all, again, a table function, removing any kind of filter context, which you might have in the visual, which is the current customer. We remove this filter. Instead, we're using all the customer companies and rank them based on their profit. And then we simply make sure that this ranking here is less or equal to 10. And based on the ranking here, based on the true or false expression, so is the ranking greater than 10 or less than 10, then we filter, using the filter function, the unique list of customer companies. And that means we only show the profit for those customers where the ranking is less than 10 or less or equal to 10. That's how that works. So all the table functions included in this specific measure, which at the end returns a single value, which is then visible in here, right, for each of the customers. So that's how that works. And of course, this can give you now some insights. So for instance, if you are interested in any kind of visualization, let's say I'm using my donut chart here, I select this and say, I'd like to see the top 10 client sales, tick this option, and then I tick the clients itself from the orders table. So the customer company here, for instance, then I would see here in my visual only the top 10 customers. So not all the customers we have, but only the most important ones based on the total sales. And the same is true, of course, for any other kind of measure. So let me just copy this, Control V to paste it. So I have it twice. And let's go in here and say we switch this from the donut chart to, for instance, a bar chart. Tick the bar chart. And again, we would see here only the top 10 customers in this visualization without applying any additional filters, simply because the measure which we're going to use here in the value section only returns sales for the top 10 customers and the other ones are blank. So that's how that works. So this could be an insight. Maybe you want to focus your visualization, your report to your audience to only specific customers, the most important ones, based on a certain KPI. And this is, for instance, an example how you can do that. And you also applied what you've learned in the prior video, various table functions inside a calculation itself, so inside a measure. Okay, so that's it actually for this video. So hopefully the calculation itself was helpful. Hopefully you understood what we did. And as always, thanks a lot for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, best guys.